Hi, I'm Paul Mitchell, Managing Director of the Human Enterprise, and today I want to give you a very simple team building model, or a simple way of looking at teams, so that you can actually ask yourself some questions as to what you need to do as a leader to take your team to the next level. Lots of elements of this. First of all, if you're going to have a team, you've got to have people. So there's one person, there's another, you could have several people. They're the X Factor. You know, that great show that sort of, looks at talent. You've got talented people. That's the X Factor. But the X Factor in a team is not enough. You can get a great lot of individuals, but it's whether or not they're connecting with each other, whether or not they're collaborating, whether or not they're partnering. So it's the connection between those people that's a vital part. In fact, it underpins everything you do with your team. And that connection is the connection between the X's, which a dear old friend Carlos Raimondo calls relationship capital. So the first question I want to ask you is, how good is the relationship capital in your team? How good's the relationship capital in your business? Are you really, and it really is capital. This could be human capital, the X part, and a lot of the times we talk about our human capital, I think we've got to go beyond that. It's how well that capital works that's the key to building trust and the foundation of any strong team. In fact, I think any strong business. So how good's the relationship capital? Tremendous. You've got that going really well. Everyone's working with each other. We're very happy. We're linked in. But guess what? You may not be making any money. Or you might be talking with each other, but thinking, what do we do now? And that's where the next part of the teamwork model comes in. Because up the top here, we have the why factor. Why are we here? Why are we bothering to turn up? Why are we doing that? And you could have one big why or a series of little whys. What's the why in your team? The why in your team is the mission of your team. Or the why in your organisation is the higher purpose of your organisation, or the vision of your organisation, or your goals for that particular period. Because even though it's great to relate, we need to relate in the context of something bigger, in the context of the why. And when I see teams working really well together but then dropping off in terms of productivity, it's often because they have not figured out what their why is, or people here are not clear on the why. So what we then need to do is to collect, or rather connect, this fantastic relationship to the why. And that we call not relationship capital, but strategic capital. Strategic capital on both sides here. And what does that mean? It means, great, I've got this great relationship going, and how are we going to run our meetings so we achieve our why? What's our agenda going to be? That would be a form of strategic capital. Great, we've got this great relationship going. How shall we do performance review in terms of the why? How do we communicate how we're going as a business back to people? This is all your strategic capital stuff. And both are important. You've got to get the relationship capital right. You've got to get the strategic capital right. Here's the challenge I have for you. How good are you as a leader at not just talking to people one-on-one, talking to the X's, your team members? How good are you at pulling them together? And then how good are you at actually focusing that energy to a higher cause, to a purpose, to a mission, to a goal? I've been around a bit, and I do these exercises myself, but how many times have we jumped off cliffs, gone paintballing, gone whitewater rafting? I mean, we're probably not doing that as much anymore because of all the compliance issues and obviously the yacht health and safety. And that's great, it's fantastic for building trust. But we come back from those things and we got trust, but what are we now supposed to do with it? I mean, don't give that up. But on your team building exercises, keep coming back to the why. Don't expect people that have got the why. You need to communicate till it hurts again and again. You need to get feedback. You need to make it an iterative loop going around and round and round, and make sure you're joining that relationship capital with your strategic capital to to achieve your why. I'm Paul Mitchell from the Human Enterprise. Be true to you.